I remember very vividly when I arrived with a boat in Czechoslovakia. We arrived right in Czechoslovakia. Mom and Dad come and pick me up with a friend of us who they're already here, Neapolitan, already here for many years. Couple of weeks later, he said, come on guys, we're going and have a cup of coffee. I said, don't tease me. Forget it, cup of coffee in this country doesn't exist, especially from Naples. I mean, coffee is everything for us. And he said, I'm taking you, I have a nice espresso. I said, I don't believe you. Anyway, he took us to King's Cross, to Coluzzi. All of a sudden, I saw King's Cross with delicatessen open 10 o'clock on night time, people on the street, cup of coffee was good. I said, I'm not moving anymore from here. Where we are, that's why I end up in King's Cross. You know, I worked there, my very first restaurant I was working, I was in the kitchen. Now, my father's always been a restaurateur, and he said to me, we open a restaurant. I said, no, we can't open a restaurant. I could not speak a word of English. Not only I can communicate with people, but I don't know nothing about the product in this country. I said, I think we have to go to work somewhere. So I started with Arrivederci, and I started with that Neapolitan family there at King's Cross, and then Leo Scofield gave us the biggest write-up in history in the restaurant business. When he wrote the article, he said, I discovered that little Neapolitan restaurant. I'm not going to give you the address. I don't want to destroy them. He said, you have to write to me and I give you the address. So I think so overnight he got something like 7,000 letters. Incredible. So it was the biggest write-up. And you know, we were swamped on there, so we have to move because it was a little restaurant, and we moved on to William Street. So in William Street, because it was a bigger restaurant, the guys I was working with, he said, we need a staff here. I said, easy. Mom and Dad in the restaurant business, they can come with me. Then in 1976, I went and worked for Chianti in Surrey Hills, and I worked for them. And then in 1979, 7 years later, I said to my father and my wife, I think that's the time now we make famous three restaurants actually. I can communicate with people. I know the food in this country, what's going on. I think we have to open our restaurant. So sure enough, a friend of mine in that time, so he had the pizzeria, and he said, I want to get out of here, I want to sell. I said, okay, I'm buying the place. In 1979, we opened the Pulcinella. And the moment we opened, we boom. Was 6 months in advance booking. I did my first book at Pulcinella, then my second book was here. Actually, the other two books here were recorded. Now, let me tell you about the food in this country. That was amazing. So I was searching for the food, and I saw the zucchini. I said, you have zucchini flour? No, we don't have zucchini flour. I said, excuse me, it's a plant that's going up. They have the flour and then they have the zucchini. I said, what do you mean? No, they don't pick, it's too much to pick, forget it. So I have to bottle, actually in 1979, I have to bottle to have zucchini flour, and I have in my book. Yeah, so that's, and I did the zucchini flour, and people went absolutely mad with the zucchini flour because they didn't know. Oh, the flour, you can eat flour. I said, yes, of course. As a matter of fact, 1974, 75, up to today, that's almost over 40 years, and people still asking for zucchini flour. And also what I found, that another difficult obstacle, for instance, if I was cooking the pasta al dente, how many times I remember my father coming in with the plate and they say it's uncooked. So unfortunately, I have to retrain myself to cook the pasta a couple of minutes more, where today, if you're doing a soft pasta, they send you back. They want it al dente. See, this is the difference between now and 45 years ago. Because when I arrived in this country, without no offense to an Italian restaurant, but it was a cliche menu. If you go into every restaurant from Sydney to up in Cairns, was exactly the same menu everybody. And then I start to talk about cucina povera, and then I start about regionality. I said, we have a region in Italy. Why you guys, chefs, Italian chefs, cook some dishes from your region? That's why we start Cira. That's why I found Cira in 1993, I think it was. Forget about the award and forget about my achievement. I think that my biggest achievement was when I created Starlight Foundation. I remember very well when the president of the Starlight Foundation, and Starlight Foundation was extremely small. Do you know anything about Starlight Foundation? I said, no. Tell me. And he said, well, we help terminal children. He said, we have a fundraising. Oh, I said, you never have dinner? He said, no. I said, how about I do dinner here in this restaurant and I donate everything. We did dinner here. We raised in 1993 $17,000. That was a lot of money. So I invite Tazia here for dinner, and I invite Lucio for dinner, and also was the general manager of, in that time was the region in Czechoslovakia, where still actually after so many years they're still doing Starlight Foundation there now. Now it's full season. It's not the region anymore. So I said, well, thank you very much everybody to be here tonight. I said, but I have one big wish and a vision. I can't do that in my restaurant every year. This is nothing. We need really, really big room. Would be good to do 500 people, I said. Obviously, I can't do by myself. I need other chefs with me. I said, I think I have the room and I have the chefs with me. So they could not say no to me in front of everybody. He was Serge Densru, was the chef at the region in that time. So we did 4 chef dinner. And unfortunately, Lucio, on the first year, he moved out. He said, I can't do it. And then I took Neil Perry with us. And then a few years later, we became a 5-chef dinner because we got Yanni Karitzis from MG Garage. And I'm extremely proud. Today, since 1993, it's going really beautiful. We and everybody else will make millions for Starlight Foundation. And what's a beautiful present for those kids. You see, everybody say, and sometimes I don't believe it, oh, I started in the restaurant business at 14 or 15 or 16. I have a photo, black and white, with my father when I was 14, when I started in the restaurant business. So I'm 72, it's a long time. It's a long, long time. It is time to me to rest a little bit. But resting which way? Because if I go to the country, I still have a lot to do. We're doing olive oil there, we're doing marmalade, we have a guest house. We have a nice garden. I love to work in the garden every day because that gives me the possibility to almost meditate with my plants and my trees. And you know what I tell people? Stop to run. Stop and watch a trees growing. Nobody stop and see the trees, how beautiful it is, or the sunset. And trust me, if you arrive to that, you're satisfied in life.
Buonasera, salute!